Robert Hunter Biden, born on February 4, 1970, is the second son of President Joe Biden. His life has been marked by personal tragedy and public scrutiny from a very young age. At just 2 years old, he was involved in a devastating car crash in 1972 that killed his mother, Neilia, and his younger sister, Naomi. Hunter and his older brother, Beau, survived the accident, but the trauma of that early loss would echo throughout his life. In spite of this painful beginning, Hunter pursued a strong academic path. He attended Georgetown University for his undergraduate studies and later earned a Juris Doctor degree from Yale Law School in 1996. These achievements set the stage for a promising legal and business career. But beneath the surface, Hunter was wrestling with a growing dependency on drugs and alcohol, a struggle that would come to define much of his adult life. His addiction issues became more visible in the public eye over time. In October 2018, during a period when he had relapsed into crack cocaine use, Hunter bought a Colt Cobra revolver in Delaware. While purchasing the firearm, he filled out a federal background check form and falsely indicated that he was not using illegal drugs. This lie on a government document is considered a federal offense. Only 2 days later, his brother Beau's widow, Hallie Biden, who had been in a romantic relationship with Hunter, found the gun and, worried about his mental state, disposed of it in a dumpster. This act would later become part of the complex legal tangle that followed. His actions prompted a special counsel investigation led by David Weiss, which led to formal charges. By June 2024, the gun case had reached court. The trial, held in Delaware, included emotionally intense testimony from Hallie and Hunter's former wife, both of whom gave deeply personal accounts of his behavior and substance abuse. After a week of proceedings, on June 11, 2024, Hunter was convicted of 3 felony charges: lying on the background check form, filing false records, and possessing a firearm while being a drug user. The courtroom was tense, but Hunter received quiet support throughout from First Lady Jill Biden, who attended several days of the trial. That case wasn't the only legal trouble facing Hunter. In September 2023, he was indicted on 9 separate federal tax-related charges, which included failing to pay taxes, evading tax responsibilities, and submitting false returns. These charges stemmed from several years of financial mismanagement, during which Hunter earned millions from foreign business dealings, but reportedly failed to fulfill his obligations to the IRS. A year later, in September 2024, he entered a guilty plea on those charges, signaling his acceptance of wrongdoing and avoiding a lengthy tax trial. Together, the gun conviction and the tax charges exposed Hunter to the possibility of serving over 40 years in federal prison, up to 25 years for the gun-related convictions and an additional 17 years for the tax violations. Legal analysts, however, noted that sentencing guidelines would likely result in much shorter actual terms, especially considering his cooperation and plea. In a dramatic and controversial decision, President Joe Biden announced on December 1, 2024, that he had issued a full and unconditional pardon to his son. The pardon covered all federal crimes committed or potentially committed by Hunter between January 1, 2014, and December 1, 2024. This sweeping act of clemency eliminated the legal consequences of both the gun and tax cases and any other federal offenses that may have occurred within that time frame. In the pardon's public statement, President Biden defended the decision, explaining that he believed his son had been the subject of politically motivated and disproportionate prosecution. He stated that Hunter had been unfairly targeted, not because of his actions alone, but because of his relationship to the president and the politically charged environment surrounding the family. The president's action immediately sparked national debate. Supporters framed it as a compassionate act by a father who had watched his son battle addiction, survive public humiliation, and fight for sobriety. Critics, however, argued that it undermined the rule of law and sent a dangerous message about the use of presidential pardon powers for family members. Special counsel David Weiss stood firm, maintaining that his team had found no evidence of political bias or selective prosecution. He insisted that the charges and the process had been based on facts and the law, not public pressure or political influence. Hunter Biden later issued a personal statement acknowledging his past failures and expressing deep remorse. He thanked his father for the pardon and revealed that he had now been sober for more than 5 years. He shared his intention to dedicate his time and energy to helping others who are facing similar battles with addiction. Since the pardon, Hunter has maintained a notably low profile, focusing on sobriety, family, and advocacy work. He spends time with his wife, Melissa Cohen, and their young son, cherishing the stability that once seemed out of reach. Behind the scenes, he has been collaborating with recovery organizations, offering mentorship, and sharing his experiences with those in the throes of addiction. Though criticism still follows him, especially in political circles, he continues to express gratitude for his second chance. The road ahead remains uncertain, but Hunter Biden's story, marked by trauma, scandal, and redemption, remains one of the most polarizing and emotionally charged narratives in recent American history. He has also spoken publicly about the realities of addiction, emphasizing that recovery is an ongoing journey, not a single event. Through interviews and conversations with recovery communities, Hunter has begun to transform his pain into purpose. He has underscored that what nearly destroyed him also gave him clarity and compassion, values he now channels into helping others find hope and healing. Whether through quiet acts of support or public advocacy, he remains determined to turn the page. In private life, he has reportedly started working on a new memoir that dives deeper into his recovery, fatherhood, and the complex intersection of politics and personal vulnerability. Those close to him describe a man who has become more reflective, more guarded, yet more committed to ensuring his experience isn't wasted. He now avoids public outbursts and carefully weighs his steps, aware that his story still echoes across the political and cultural landscape. In some circles, he is slowly gaining recognition as someone who, while flawed, is choosing the long road to restoration, one marked by accountability, humility, and purpose. Though many still see Hunter through the lens of his controversies, others are beginning to view him as a symbol of resilience, a man who, despite public failure and personal heartbreak, is still trying to grow, heal, and give back. His journey highlights the complexities of addiction, the burdens of public life, and the depths of parental love. If you found this story insightful or moving, don't forget to like, drop a comment below, and hit that subscribe button for more powerful real-life stories.